Hello everyone, and welcome to Bizarre Movies. Today we will recap a classic war action movie, in which an ordinary man tries to overthrow the Kingdom of England with his army. But before we start, a gentle reminder that this is just a movie explanation and we encourage you to watch the full movie. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. The film starts with the story of the invasion of Scotland by King Edward Longshanks. He is the King of England, and invaded Scotland after the death of the King of Scotland. A few brave rebels start raising their voices against him. So, King Edward decides to negotiate and calls them for a truce. But there is a condition, that no one would bring their weapons in this peaceful talk. Then we see a farmer named Malcolm Wallace, who is heading for the truce. He has two sons, John and William. William also wants to go with them, and he tries to convince them. But his father tells him that he will return soon. After their departure, William meets his best friend Hamish. They play for some time, and then William returns home, waiting for his father's arrival. He wakes up in the morning and tries to find his father and brother. Suddenly, he notices some villagers returning with dead bodies. The peace talk was a trap of King Edward. He hanged his father and brother, and all rebels as a punishment for the revolt. Young William is in shock after their death. Then we see a man, who claims to be William's paternal uncle named Argyle. He tells William that he has come here to take him with him. The next day, William is taken abroad on a pilgrimage throughout Europe by his paternal uncle Argyle. Slowly time passes and now William is grown up. He came back to his village after traveling Europe, and learning different languages. On the other hand, we see King Edward. Today, his only son who would be the future king is getting married. His wife is a beautiful young princess of France, named Isabel. But looks like the prince is not that into women. What a waste. After the ceremony, King Edward takes part in the council. Suddenly, the new bride comes there. She tells the king that her husband sent her for the meeting in his stead. Anyway, King is discussing strategies to completely crush the Scottish rebellion. Understanding the loyalty of Scottish nobles towards Scotland, the cruel king decides to implement the rule of prima nocte. This rule states that whoever marries a new bride in Scotland, the bride must spend her first night with the English landlord. Then we see William again. He notices a beautiful girl of his village in a marriage ceremony. He also meets his childhood friend Hamish there. Suddenly, English soldiers arrive. They order them to give the new bride for prima nocte. The groom resisted, but the bride and the whole village follows their order. After some time, William meets this beautiful girl. Her name is Murren. They start liking each other and spend some time with each other. They decide to get married. But in order to avoid the landlords raping his wife on his first wedding night, he gets married in a secret ceremony. The next day, in the village, William is being playful with his wife. One English soldier notices them. After William leaves, he follows Murren. Murren runs, but he captures her and wants to take advantage of her. But William arrives there in time, and he beats the hell out of them. They decide to run together and leave the village, but the soldiers follow them. William tells Murren to meet with him near the lake, and decides to distract the soldiers. But Murren gets captured. William does not know that Murren has been caught by the soldiers, and he is waiting for her there, but she doesn't arrive. Soldiers tie her, and decide to punish her for attacking an English soldier. Her eyes are looking for William, but he is looking for her on the banks of the river. As punishment, the commander slits Murren's throat. Soldiers know that her husband will come for her. And William came back. All the soldiers are waiting for him. William already learns that Murren has been killed. In revenge, he wants to kill the commander who killed his wife. He attacks one soldier, and all the rebels of the village also start attacking them. Then we see a short battle between villagers and the soldiers. Finally, he manages to capture the commander. He ties him to the same pole and kills him there. The whole village starts chanting his name, and sees a hero in him. But he is sad. Because he has lost all his close ones since childhood. He kisses his wife before burying her. He says sorry to her wife's father, for he could not protect her. Now, his only mission is to liberate his village, and the whole Scotland from English rule. When the people of the nearby villages learn about this, a large number of people join him. Following this, it transforms into a group of traveling rebels led by William Wallace. He attacks the major British establishments near his village, and kills many soldiers. King Edward returns to his kingdom from a foreign tour. He asks his son about the newly heard issue of William and his rebels. But the young prince has no answer to this situation. King Edward comes to know about William's recent attacks. He is angry and tries to teach his son warfare. His son's best friend or presumably his lover interrupts him. King had his suspicions about the sensational bond between his son and his friend. Out of rage and as a punishment for interrupting him, he kills him. On the other side, William is increasing his army because he wants to attack England. He meets with an Irishman named Stephen. He is a good fighter and a knowledgeable man. One day, while William is hunting, he saves his life by killing a man who is a spy of the king. King Edward is completely upset with William and his rebel group. He orders his son to handle the situation because he wants to make him the new king. The young prince orders his soldiers to attack the rebels. Nearby Scottish nobles' force is there to fight them. Scottish soldiers get demotivated after seeing the huge English army. Suddenly, William arrives on the battlefield along with his rebel group. He gives all of them a motivating speech, and all the soldiers get ready to fight the battle. Before the fight, the Scottish nobles perform a last peace talk. But William doesn't want any peace with England. They return to their places, and William asks the nobles to follow his plan. The battle begins, and the Scots mock the English soldiers by removing their pants. They attack them with arrows and injure them. After the arrows fight, the commander orders his troops to march on horses. But William has some other plan. They stand their ground and attack the horsemen with spears. Due to this, all the cavalry is defeated. William and his entire army attack the British. Nobles' forces also attack the British from behind as per their plan, and William wins this battle. After the battle, nobles and villagers give William the title of Sir, the Protector of Scotland. But after the ceremony, they start arguing over the throne of Scotland. There are many claimants to the throne, but the most powerful of them is Bruce. William tells them that there is no time for us to fight over small things, because the British are coming for us. He tells them his plan to invade the kingdom before they take any action. Most nobles reject his plan because they think it is impossible to invade England. Some days later, William attacks another British city and kills all of them. King Edward gets terrified, so he orders Isabel for negotiations. William meets her and tells her that he will surely attack England because they looted us and raped our women for years, and he is not going to spare the king. Isabel orders her servants to go outside because she wants to talk to William privately. In private, she feels sorry for his girlfriend and his family. William tells her that she was not his girlfriend, she was his wife, and they had married secretly, so that she doesn't have to spend a night with a British landlord. But they killed her to get him. Isabella is hurt by this, and after the meeting, she starts to feel sympathetic toward William. She returns home, and tells her king that William is not in the mood for any negotiation. King informs her that he already knew this. That's why he already sent a large army to attack Scotland. When Isabella comes to know about King Edward's trick, in no time, she sends her messenger to inform William about the upcoming battle. Scotland's nobles do not want to fight the British, because they believe they cannot fight or win against such a large army. William tells them that we have won before without you, but this time we need you and your army. Bruce asks William to talk. William tries to convince him and he agrees. He promises him his full support. Later, Bruce meets with his ill father. He informs him about the current situation, and he advises him something behind the screen. The battle day comes, William and his army are on one side, and King Robert is also there with his huge army. Battle begins, and William and his man move toward them. King Robert orders his Irishmen to attack first. But when they are about to attack the Scots, they suddenly become their friends. William already convinces them to fight for their freedom, with the help of his Irish friend Stephen. King then orders another group. Fights begin, and William signals the nobles to send their men in the battlefield. But all nobles cheat him, and Bruce is also not there to help him. Many rebels die there. William decides to attack the king on his horse, but the king's bodyguards saw him. One of them tells others to protect the king, and he starts fighting William. In the struggle, William removes the guard's helmet. And he is about to kill him, but notices that he is Bruce, his noble friend. William feels betrayed and is left heartbroken. Other guards of the king also start approaching them, but Bruce now has a change of heart, and decides to save William. He gets very upset after betraying his friend, who is there to die for his people. After some days, William attacks the nobles for siding with the king during the battle, and kills them one by one. And soon, he again gets famous in Scotland. Bruce is still in deep regret, and fights with his father for advising him to betray William. On the other side, King Edward again sends Isabella to William to negotiate. Now Isabella and William meet. He questions why she is helping him. She tells him that she loves him, and after that, they clap each other the whole night. In the morning, Isabella goes back to England. One day, Bruce invites William. Stephen and Hamish advise him that this might be a trap, but William knows his friend, and thinks he will not betray him twice. He arrives there. Bruce is happy after seeing William. Suddenly, he feels something is wrong. Other nobles have already informed the British soldiers of William's arrival. They beat him, and Bruce tries his best to save him, but William gets captured. After the battle, the king gets sick and starts to behave strangely. In the night, Isabel arrives in jail. She requests William to accept whatever the king wants, because she is in love with him. William tells her that he will not bend his knee and accept him as the king. Isabel then goes to meet the king, but he is in his last stage. She begs him to free William, but his husband tells her that the king has lost the ability to speak now. And before losing his voice, his father told him he would die comfortably, after William's capital punishment. After hearing this, she whispers in his ear, "Your dynasty will come to an end with you. Because the child in my womb is not of your bloodline, but is William's." The next day, William is brutally tortured in front of the people. Hamish and Stephen are also there, but they can't do anything. King's man again asks him to accept, but William says only one word: freedom. Before his death, he repeats freedom many times. Seeing his undying spirit and courage, people around there start crying for him, and asking for mercy for him. But it all comes to an end when they behead him. His head was hanged on London Bridge, and his hands and feet were sent to various locations, to be hanged as a warning, so that no one ever revolts. After some time, Bruce leads his army to attack the British. He asks his people to fight for William's dream, and motivates them. Hamish throws Wallace's sword in front of the English army while chanting Wallace's name. Finally, Bruce leads them into battle against the English, resulting in Scotland's freedom. To know the movie's name, check the pinned comment right now. If you like the story, then do watch the full film, and if you want to watch more such amazing recaps, then do subscribe to our channel and enable bell notifications, to receive the latest regular updates. See you in the next recap.